Time again, Bookerman, ECW. You know what's up. So this will be July 4th, 2006. Episode 4 of The Revival. But before we do that, first we have some Culture Corner. Continuing on from last week, there's going to be some repeats here. We're going to do top 10 movies and songs this time. Number 1 movie, Superman Returns. We already talked about that. Number 2, The Devil Wears Prada on July 4th. 2006. I've never seen this. It looks okay. It's not really my bag, but you know what? Whatever. A lot of people didn't like it. Click. Talked about that. Cars. Talked about that. Naturally, we talked about that. Lake House. Talked about that. Number 7. We jumped down over there. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. I don't think I've ever finished this one. I've seen parts of it. It's okay. Not a lot of people like this one. Do you know that? Sure, my volume's up good. Alright. Yeah, it looks alright. The breakup, number 8. I watched this when it came out, and I thought it was a pretty good little comedy. Pretty cool stuff here. This next one, I don't know. Waist Deep. I think Mo Deep is in this. No, Mo's Deep. Mo Deep. I think I'm Mo Deep. I don't know about Waist Deep. I think it's like a crime action kind of thing. But yeah. And the Da Vinci Code. Wow, that's one I've never seen. I know about it. It was pretty big at the time. That's like the mystery thing based on the book. It's like Da Vinci has codes or whatever about Jesus having a family or something, and it's like a big conspiracy with the Catholics about to kill. And then they made like another one. Tom Hanks is in it with really bad hair. It looks interesting. I just never really got into it. I had a video game too on the PS2 that I considered like buying one time, and I never saw the movie or knew anything about the book because it was in Blockbuster cheap, but like used value, like nah. Let's talk about the songs now. Promiscuous, Philly for Titles number 1. Talked about that last week. I don't remember if we talked about Hips Don't Lie with Shakira and Wyclef Jean, but that's number 2. Yeah, this is a good ass song. I like it. I'm on the night because my hips don't lie. You know it. Me and You by Cassie. Sounds familiar, but I can't place it. It's like Me and You. It's the era where there's a lot of women women singers, especially like R&B-esque singers, R&B / pop, kind of popish R&B, where they have like one name and they kind of blend together in my brain because I wasn't really listening to that. And I don't know much about this one. I think Crazy Bananas Barkley, number 4 and 5 is Riding, Millionaire, which talked about Riding, one of my favorite songs ever. Gnarly, Crazy, pretty good. Number 6, Going Down by Young Jock. I don't remember if I talked about that one last week, but yeah, this is a pretty good one. It's going down anyway. You see me going down. Number 7 is one I can talk about. This very touchstone in its time. Where'd You Go by Fort Minor, featuring Holly Brook and Jonah Matranga. This is the one I remember a lot. Fort Minor. Mainly remember the name. That was Mike Shinoda's side project. It's out of Lincoln Park, which was I believe it's a rap collective. But Fort Minor is really cool. Where'd You Go is a good song. It's the more, ballady, sensitive one next to Remember the Name. That's kind of like the more anthem-y one. It's good stuff. Unfaithful by Rihanna. I don't remember this at all. I know some Rihanna. And I know a little bit of her stuff. Don't remember Unfaithful. I don't know how this goes. You unfaithful. Probably something like that. I don't know. Do I Make You Proud by Taylor Hicks? No, because I don't know this song here. I know he won American Idol. It's probably he gets hit up there winning American Idol. I'm not really into the Idol stuff. And I think he was like more of a soul singer. I know the joke was that he looked like Jay Leno because he had gray hair and kind of I don't think he had a chin, but he kind of like resembled him. Yeah, but Timberton's What's Left to Be by Lake Lachey. I remember this song. It's okay. It's not really my type of music. That's enough of that. As you know, for that chapter, we got a lot of stuff to talk about here. We might have to put this into 2 videos because it's a huge episode. Because we have a lot of stuff that is both connected to what's the show and what's happening before the show. Because right off the bat, in real time, in the real world, the world you're in, RVD got arrested on the weekend for having weed in the car with Sabu. Got suspended, lost the W title on Raw. He was triple threat with Edge, Cena. Edge got his second W title. And originally, that was going to happen anyway, but it started that main event later that month. But he lost that on Raw and then lost the ECW title to the Big Show. We're not doing any of that though. We are going to have on Raw the match they were planning to do, which was going to be RVD and Sabu versus, I believe, John Cena and Ric Flair and Edge and Mick Foley, which were for a tag match to build up to the Saturday main event match. We're going to do that. It doesn't really matter who wins. You can pick the winner, whatever. And Saturday main event, we're going to say that's going to happen July 27th. It'll be important later. Number 2. So I kind of went out of order here because that was the Monday. And RVD never got arrested in this one, obviously. Never got in trouble. It's Friday before this. Remember last week, the attack from Mr. MH? Well, RVD decides to go up to SmackDown to attack. And we see a backstage segment with him talking about Hardy. He goes, Matt, hey dude. He's like, hey, what's up, Rob? He's like, I don't know if you saw, but last Tuesday, I just had a big match, got a big win. I get jumped by this guy in a ski mask and camouflage pants. He calls himself Mr. MH. He goes, I'm just saying, man, I gotta be honest. You like the word camouflage. Your name is Matt Hardy. And Matt's like, I hear what you're saying, Rob, but trust me, I wouldn't do that. I got no problems with you. I got my own stuff going on here. Gregory Hills pulls up at this point in the backstage segment. He's like, hey, Matt, that's funny. I was just remembering, did you ever give me back that ski mask you borrowed from me like a month ago? And Matt's like, you're not funny, Greg. And I was like, dude, I'm not falling for that. I'm not stupid. Like, Matt, I had to be sure. I couldn't look in your eyes. I can tell you're not lying to me. And Gregory, he's like, Gregory, you're a fool. And then Rob, leaves. And that's kind of this little setup, like, a little tied to that. We gotta mention that. As we start ECW, number 3. What's be number 3, number 4? No, wait, is this 3 or 4? This is the 4th episode. I wrote 3. I'm stupid. This should be episode number 4. Yeah, it's number 4. On July 4th. It should be easy to remember, but it's hard. We start with let the bodies to the floor. And out come the Impact players in the ring. And Justin Credible's got the mic and he says, this is ridiculous. People on ECW.com and all around the world trying to blame us for attacking the Big Show. We didn't have anything to do with that. As far as we know, maybe that big dumb lug, maybe he slipped and fell and hit his own head like a moron that he is. And Storm says, that's right, and if I can be serious for a moment. Kurt Angle, you like to say that we're running away from you. And yet, I find it interesting that we're in the same building, we're here tonight, and you're nowhere to be found. We went looking for you, you're not there. It seems like you're the one running from us. And you want a match with us? Well, I got bad news for you, Angle. See, we have nothing to gain from facing you, because Justin already beat you, and I beat you 2 weeks ago. So instead, we're going to do something different. I want to have my second match tonight. And I'm going to open the challenge to anybody who wants a shot. And if you can believe it, out comes Danny Doring and Roadkill. As they're coming out, Trey Styles puts over like, oh, this is the former ECW World Tag Team Champions. In fact, they were the last ever ECW World Tag Champions. Danny Doring has a mic and he says, it's been a while since we've been here. But if you win a challenge, Lance, I got no problem facing you tonight. And so we're off to the races. Danny Doring with Roadkill versus Storm with Justin Credible. Now, as we start, we have Danny Doring and Lance Storm exchange from Chain Wrestling. Some cool stuff. I'm not as well versed on Danny Doring's. I watch mostly tag matches, but it's hard to remember like specific stuff. I'm not gonna do too much play-by-play. I'll talk about some of it though. Like he hits a nice snap suplex, tries to go for some pins, and Lance blocks another turn to the don't snap suplex. Now at one point, Danny Doring is leaning on the second rope. All the Lance Storm might drop one hold on the rope. It's incredible. Hits him with a kendo stick. Roadkill decides he doesn't like that, so he runs up, gets on the step near Lance. While just Incredible's like doing the kendo stick jack off thing towards the crowd. He turns around and Roadkill jumps off the step and like clotheslines him. As Roadkill would be wanting to do, like jumping off stuff and clotheslining people and whatnot, despite him being like 300 pounds. And Danny Doring and Lance Storm, they work a little more, and in the end, Lance Storm is able to hit a springboard spinning wheel kick, and then one step further, locks in the Canadian Maple Leaf, the single leg Boston Crab, to get the submission victory over Danny Doring at 6 minutes and 22 seconds. But we're not really done, even with his opening Slavo, opening spiel. but in second gear because Paul Heyman comes out full with "Get the nuts in the truck," that song, and he goes, "Let's get a few things straight, Impact players." He goes, "But first of all, Justin, I hired you. I remember we talked about this. And I was happy. You at an exorbitant amount of money. You seemed all too happy to take the pay cut that I offered you." And Paul kind of smirks. He goes, "But Lance, I don't remember ever talking to you. I kind of wonder how you're even here right now." Lance says along the lines of, "Don't worry about that, Paul. I get my checks. I get paid what I've earned." And Paul goes, "Well, be that as it may, let's talk about Kurt Angle. You seem to get the impression that he's not here because he's scared. Well, I don't know about that. I can promise you I didn't allow him to be here tonight because I wanted to make sure that he was completely medically ready. So I had him check another doctor because I don't trust the last doctor he went to after that stinger that you gave him. But he'll be back soon enough. Hell, he'll be back next week, in fact. And as far as you saying you're not going to face him, oh boy, do I have an announcement for you. Because we're going to have the second ever ECW pay-per-view under the ECW rebrand. The ECW coming back from the grave, if you will. And we're going to none other than the 2300 Arena, formerly known as the ECW Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He goes in Philly. It's going to take place July 28th. So that's right, less than a month from tonight. And it's going to be the big-ass Extreme Bash, or you could kind of call it the Bay Bash. And at this bash, he says, at this bash, I'm going to announce the first match. It's going to be a steel cage match, where Kurt Angle will take on you, Just Incredible, in a return match. And I'm like, oh no, and we go to commercial. So setting up our first match. Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother. We're off to the races. It's a huge announcement there. The Bay Bash is coming. And Angle will get his hands on Just Incredible and try to get his revenge. And then we go a backstage thing with the FBI, and Guido is upset. He's like, I can't believe this, man. You see, last night, Robbie and Damn teaming with Sabu. That's funny, because last week, they were doing the same thing. They were working together to take me out of the match. And he goes, he's like, anyway, Tony, by the way, Tony, Trinity, where the hell were you two? Where were you two whenever that was going down? And Tony's like, hey, you told us to stay in the bag. You said you wanted to become a world champion on your own. You're right, I did. I messed up. I'm sorry. I'm acting like a gabagool right now. I'm acting like a Mama Luke. But nonetheless, that wasn't right. What they did, they worked together. They like a handicap match. I'm gonna challenge Sabu right now. I'm gonna show him 1-on-1. Let's do this thing. I'm gonna show him. And he shouldn't have did that. So we go to her next match. She comes out with the FBI. Sabu versus Little Guido. And in this match, we get some. Basically, the story here is Guido's hitting some stuff to Sabu. Sabu's hitting some stuff to Guido. They're chain wrestling a little beginning. Doing some cool stuff. The Little Guido with a pretty cool Northern Light suplex at one point for a nice 2 count. Sabu with a good Hurricane Rana. They go at one point. Tony Marinara interferes, hitting Sabu in the back of the head with a trash can lid, or trunks of trash can lid at him. Sabu is able to chase him outside, and he hits a nice clothesline off the apron, and then puts him on a table right there by the ringside area. And he does his triple jump moonsault, putting Tony through the table, as you do. But he's not done. He gets back in the ring, and he hits his Arabian face buster, flipping leg drop thing from the ropes on to Little Guido. It's on the Little Guido, and he goes for the pin, but it's broken up by Trinity. He comes and stomps him in the head, stomps on his head, and then she picks him up and goes for DDT. But Sabu is able to grab her wrist and slam her down like that, so she lands face first. Then he goes to the rope, springboards his back, jumping calf kick, knocking Trinity down. But as this is happening, Little Guido's been able to get aside. He gets a pizza pan, if you can believe it or not, and he whacks Sabu in the head with it. He goes for the pin, but Sabu kicks out too. And he does this to the ref. He's not happy. Goes up, and he goes for his Arriba Dirt Sheet, where he grabs the arm like this, spinning arm breaker. But as he goes for the second part of it, for the second rope, Sabu shoves him off. Sabu hits him with a kick, hits him in the gut, goes to ropes, and hits a turning tornado DDT springboard from the ropes. Oh my! And then he locks on his version of the camel clutch, which we're going to call the Arabian camel clutch, where it's like a single arm, where he puts the arm on the leg in this version, and he has your arm over here, and he just pulls it. And Little Guido gives up. Little Guido gives up at 8-23. Your winner of the match, Sabu, by submission. Try and talk a little faster because there's a bunch of stuff here. Well, RVD comes out now for a town hall. He says, congratulations, Sabu, on your big win, dude. You're my bro, but I gotta get to the bottom of this. Enough's enough. Guys wanna jump me from behind, wear a mask, and hide in the shadows. I'm not playing that. I'm not putting up with that bullshit. He goes, I'm the ECW World Champion. I'm the WWE Champion. I got Saturday Night Main Event on my mind. I'm sure I'm gonna be doing something at the Bash. So you know what, Mr. MH? How about you come out and reveal yourself? How about you tell me what you want, what you're doing here? You say everything was taken away from you. I don't know what it has to do with me. But why don't you let me know? Come on, unless you're a coward, unless you're a punk ass, unless you're a bitch. And then on the screen, we see this static, and then we see Mr. MH like close up again, like the way he was in the previous week. And he goes, right again, the story of the voice, Rob Van Dam. We do this on my time, not your time. And he says, I will not die. I'm on a path of destruction. And I'll see you next week in that ring, Rob, face to face. And RVD is like, okay, sounds good to me. He goes, one thing, RVD 420 is gonna smoke your ass up. Cause I'm the whole damn show. And then, yeah, as we do. As our Robert Van Dobbert loves to do. Now we see Ariel again with a crystal ball. She's sitting at her table with a crystal ball. And she's talking about how there's chaos and disorder all around the ECW. We see like a thing on the wall of the Big Show knocked out last week. And there's mystery and tensions on who tries to destroy or who tries to slay this giant. And then we see Paul Heyman a few weeks ago when he told Kelly, actually I didn't hire you. And we just see it on him. He's like, questions abound about what is happening inside this world. And then we see Mr. MH's face. We just saw, and goes, an interloper, an agent of chaos who seeks to destroy one man, but to what end? And then we see Kevin Form pull up, and Ariel looks at him. She looks at him like, romantically, and she says, "Seventh son, you have come now. You have come here to hit the light to this disorder, the light in this darkness." And she gets up and she kisses him and make out, they go, a big smack, and he puts his arm around her and he goes, I hunger for a victim, and next week I'll have one. And he bears the fangs, and Ariel laughs. And Joey Styles like, those are some freaks. Apparently it's seventh son. I understand this woman's name is Ariel? Yeah, he mentioned there. I don't know if I had a seventh son calls her Ariel. He said, Ariel, I hunger, and next week I do. I think some of it is out of order, as we do. But yeah, here goes nothing. Now we see a train pull up, and a man gets off that train. It's other than the reject anymore. Mohawk tattooed out, Dillagaff and all. No, we don't have the Book of Dillagaff here. We don't have the Book of Dillagaff. Nope. Anyway, Shannon is talking to the camera. He's walking. He goes, "No, I'm the reject, Shannon Moore." He says, "Thing about me is I don't fit in anywhere. And that's the way it's always been. I don't really get along with normal people." He has the air quotes. But see, that's why I'm the perfect fit for ECW. It's always been the land of misfit toys. And I'm gonna be coming there next week. Ba ba boom. So we get a match that was been heavily anticipated, maybe one of the most anticipated of this run so far. Jazz versus Kelly Kelly. And Kelly, as the match starts, she slaps Jazz in the face, which just seems to piss her off more. So Kelly throws a drop kick that sends Jazz back. Then Jazz comes back real fast with a quick clothesline and knocks Kelly down. At this point, she's basically starting where she body slams her, Fisherman suplexes her for a pin, but breaks up the pin her own. Let's go with the pin her own self. Jumps up, starts stomping on Kelly. And she's not done yet. She grabs her from the ground, like she did a few weeks ago, picks her up like in the sort of lambskin thing, the thing she used to call the bitch clamp. We might have to call it that, why not? And she has her in, and Kelly's like, yeah, and so the ref calls it at 3:11. Jazz makes her tap with a bitch clamp. When Jazz does shrug her down, lets her go, the chicken wing, Carl's chicken wing thing, the thing chicken wing. And she gets a mic and she says, you want to know what this is all about, Paul? You want to know what I'm doing? I'm destroying this little blonde bimbo over here. She goes, it's real simple. I'm going to keep interrupting your show. I'm going to keep doing what I want until you give me what I want. I want the woman. I want, in a match, the woman who tried to end my career 3 years ago. And she puts her thing on the screen. We see Victoria super kicking Jazz in a battle royal in slow motion. Because this actually led to Jazz getting, I believe, concussed. And she was out for quite a while. And she goes, she tried to end my career. And I ain't never been the same since. So, if you want me to stop what I'm doing, you need to give me Victoria. You go back to Joey Styles now at the commentary, like, oh my, she wants Victoria. What fast developments here tonight in ECW. So much going on. I don't even better go. So he gaps up. He goes, we got an update on Big Show. He's at a local medical facility, and he's going to be out for some time. We don't know when. He will be back soon, though. It's not a super serious injury. It's not super serial. But he will be back, but he's out for now. But we got to ask who did this. He goes, starts talking about next week. He says, we're going to see Test in action. The day they return of Test. We're going to see Kevin Thorne. He says he wants a victim. What does he mean by that? He goes, RVD is going to have a face-to-face with Mr. MH. What does that mean? What does that mean? We see a backstage frame of Guido. He's like, I can't believe I lost, man. Sabu. Damn it. And he sees Danny Doring and Roadkill. Also, he has the rest of the FBI with him. He has Tony and Trinity. He's like, look at these Goombas over here. And then he's like, oh, really? You want to talk? He's like, didn't you just lose to Sabu? He's like, hey, didn't you just lose to Lance Storm? And then he goes, you know what's funny? I don't remember you beating us for when we won the ECW title, for the AEW tag title from you. He never beat us back for those. So as far as I see it, we have defeated the FBI. We are better than the FBI. And the little girl's like, oh yeah, well you know what? How about, we could do it again anytime you want. Anytime you want. And Tony's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm down too. And he was like, all right, let's do it. The big ass Extreme Bash. I was like, all right, you're on. Now it's time for our main event. There's Sandman and Balls Mahoney in a good old-fashioned hardcore. I mean, it's a regular match, but it's gonna be super hardcore. This is what also I don't have a lot of notes for on like how it's gonna go as far as like spots. So just there's some good old hardcore stuff like Balls hits him with a chair to the head, stand up, hopefully Sandman, Candlestick strikes, puts him on the ropes, like does that leg drop thing he would do to a lot of P wrestlers today. Basic stuff, and in the end, Sandman actually gets the win with the Heineken Rana from the top. He goes for the Rolling Rock at one point. Let's say Balls gets his knees up and does his frog splash from the top, because that was a cool spot. But yeah, in the end, he gets the win with the Heineken Rana. And after the match, Sandman calls for some beers. He helps Balls up, and he's like, does the beer thing, and they drink together, and he gets his hit some more. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody happy. And he's like, oh, what an ending to ECW. A chaotic week. But this is a pretty cool way to end on, pretty cool way to end the show. But we're not quite done, because he's Paul in his office here, and he goes, hello, everybody. As I said earlier tonight, in 3 weeks, we will see the big-ass Extreme Bash from ECW, where the FBI will take on Danny Doring and Roadkill in a match that has huge implications going all the way back to the end of ECW. You'll also see a cage match, a return cage match, a huge grudge between Kurt Angle and Justin Credible. And I am working right now, perhaps getting Victoria, so Jazz can get her dream of facing the woman who tried to end her career. We're getting tuned for that. We're working on some things here and there. But in the meantime, and all of a sudden, people hear a call, and he gets the call, and he picks up his phone, his 2006 cell phone, which would look different from this. I guess it would be a flip phone. But, he goes, oh, because, really? Interesting. Because, well, the best thing about silent partners is, right, that they stay silent. He goes, no. Now, hold on. You want me to do things right. We got the pay-per-view set up. We're working on it. But I don't need to hear any more. I don't need to hear any more from you, Shane. And then he hangs up the phone. He looks a little irate. And the last thing we hear before the show ends, Joey starts going, Shane? Who is Shane? And that's where we end. I've got some irons in the fire here. Next time, Tez is going to be in action. Kevin 4 months victim. Seventh son. I got to use Thompson's son. I gave him the name. Shannon Moore's going to be here. RVD's doing a face-to-face with her MH. Will Jazz get her wish for Victoria? And what else will be developed for the Bay Bash? I'm saying, we're going to find out more about this Shane. And just tune in. I'll keep you posted. Oh, we talked the Big Show. We don't know that either. And who is Taz bringing in? Taz was not in this episode, but we know he's bringing somebody in. And when are they getting here? A lot of stuff going on. But as usual, you watched. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned. Pretty soon here, lab number 5, and we'll continue this run. Did you ever keep track how many shows to the Bay Bash? I believe there's 3 more, if I'm not mistaken. And have a good day.